Tonight at 5, business as usual.
I just think it's time for people to make the decision for themselves and what they're most comfortable with.
12 to 15-year-olds will be able to get a COVID vaccine within weeks, while one Front Range county is rejecting the state's mask order. Is this a sign the rebound is working?
Plus, a new initiative to bring vaccine clinics to your workplace. And state lawmakers make our children's mental health a priority by cracking down on bullies.
First tonight, we just can't shake the rain and snow. Check out this snow squall on I-25 in Larkspur this afternoon.
The Weather Action Day remains in effect through 6:30 tonight. And certainly the last few days of moisture made it greener around here. It also increased the avalanche danger in the mountains.
It was nice at first. Now I think we could all use a break from the rain. Mike Nelson is joining us with some bright spots in that forecast. Mike?
Yes, it will brighten up a lot tomorrow and for the next couple of days. It'd be great to share the wealth because some parts of Chaffee County and Park County and western Colorado are not getting this moisture and they really could use it. But it's dark and gloomy in the Denver area and still a little snowy up in the mountains. Here's the view at Loveland Ski Area. Winter storm warnings continue in the mountains until 6 o'clock tonight. But the area of the main rain is moving off to the east of us now. And the rain snow burst moved through the Denver area about an hour ago. And it will just have lighter showers. As you can see, it is much drier off to the west of us and warmer too. 64 at Durango, 63 at Grand Junction. That warmer air is going to be heading our way. So the headlines, wet weather is about over for now. We'll have more sunshine tomorrow, a nice warming trend coming up. And then later in the 7-day, we're going to see some afternoon thunderstorms, which is pretty typical in May, especially after we've had all this wet weather on the eastern plains. Your full 7-day coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mike. Tomorrow, Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine is likely to receive CDC approval for use in 12 to 15-year-olds.
And this is the final step before the vaccine can be given to children that age in our state. And today, state leaders were confident those kids will begin getting the Pfizer vaccine this week.
Once ACIP makes a recommendation, any vaccine provider that receives a Pfizer allocation will be able to administer the vaccine to this age group. Our community vaccination sites also will be able to administer the vaccine to individuals aged 12 to 15 when the time comes.
Now, this approval comes at a critical time. To put this in context, middle and high schoolers are getting sick at a higher rate than any other age group in our state. And more than a quarter of new COVID cases are in children. It is one of the highest rates we have seen during this pandemic. And experts in pediatric medicine say if kids are vaccinated, it increases the odds of a normal school year next year.
It's going to be a lot easier to keep outbreaks from happening in school if we have a large proportion of the kids vaccinated.
According to CDC data, about 39% of the state now is vaccinated, and that includes 63% of people over the age of 60 and 76% of people over the age of 70. And today, Governor Polis announced a new workplace vaccination program. The state says it will work with any business to set up a vaccination clinic.
Getting the vaccine should be so easy. It also should be as easy as seeing your doctor, and we're making a big push to get it into the hands of more family practices and pediatricians now with the expected approval of Pfizer for everybody aged 12 and up.
And our habits are changing. An Axios poll found 54% of Americans went out to eat last week. That's more than at any other point during this pandemic. And fewer people are taking precautions. The number of people saying they wear masks when they go out is down to 58% from 63%.
And today, Douglas County leaders passed a resolution to reject the state's mask mandate.
Denver7's Liz Gilardi has the story.
Scratch Made Comfort Food Diner in Parker.
Brandy Faringer knows her customers by name. She hasn't directly asked if they're vaccinated, but it sometimes comes up in conversation.
They're all regulars, so we all know them, and we've talked and know that they're vaccinated, and people come in, oh, I got my shot this morning, those kinds of things. And there was a point this morning where everybody in here had their vaccine.
That's why she's wondering how much longer her staff and customers will be required to wear a mask. Douglas County commissioners approved a resolution saying it should be up to an individual to choose how to protect themselves against COVID-19. Brandy agrees.
I want everybody to feel comfortable in what they're doing. And so if they want to wear it, wear it. If you don't, don't. But I'm ready for things to move forward.
Before you walk into a business without a mask, consider this. The only commissioner to oppose the measure said she heard from several hair salons, and salons are regulated by the state.
Please make it clear that this is not my choice. This is a state mandate that anyone who comes into my salon must wear a mask.
Commissioners who supported doing away with the mask order pointed to the concept of vaccine passports and worry it will lead to some people being treated unfairly.
It's time for us to really acknowledge the rights of our citizens and defend our businesses against further confusion. Enough is enough. The pandemic is over.
Governor Jared Polis is weighing in too.
Well, I think taking symbolic actions that discourage mask wearing are short-sighted and unscientific.
The executive director of the Tri-County Health Department told us he only found out about the resolution last night.
I think my concern is that this symbolic action will potentially just add to the confusion. It's not going to change the state law, and it may make the average person even more confused than they already are.
Confusion that could lead to some uncomfortable moments for business owners who are caught between the county and the state. Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
David Torres could spend 45 years in prison after pleading guilty to attempted murder. The Inglewood man was sentenced to the maximum sentence last week. According to the 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office, Torres stalked his estranged wife and a male companion for days before eventually ambushing them. This is February 21st of 2020. The male victim then, they say, threw himself in front of the woman and was shot 7 times. Both survived. The DA's office called them both heroes today. In a statement, both survivors delivered a written message for victims of domestic violence. It says, please get help. You're not alone. It is not normal or justifiable to be in a home filled with fear, control, and threats. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7. If you or someone you know needs some help, there's a number 800-799-7233.
And this afternoon, Colorado Springs police identified the man they say opened fire on a family birthday party, killing 6 people and then killing himself. Police say 28-year-old Teodoro Macias was dating one of the members of that family, and police say this mass shooting was an incident of domestic violence. Denver7's Jason Grenauer was listening in on that afternoon news conference today, where we also learned of a possible motive. Jason?
Yeah, and Colorado Springs police believe that the suspect was upset he did not receive an invitation to that family birthday party. So he, in the words of the police chief, showed up and started shooting. Police tell us there were 10 family members inside that mobile home at that party. 3 were children under 12. They believe Macias walked in and opened fire using a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. He killed 6. 1 adult was able to escape, and the children were not harmed, though they did witness what happened. Macias then shot himself.
It's a terrible tragedy. There's no question about it. And I think what we take from it is a stark reminder that how lethal domestic violence incidents can be.
Now, Macias did not have a criminal history, but investigators believe he was controlling in his relationship with one of the victims based on their phone communication. The children involved are being cared for by other family members. Live in the newsroom tonight, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver7.
So sad. And you might have seen the green ribbons around for Mental Health Awareness Week. And today we learned a sobering statistic. 7 people aged 8 to 16 tried to take their own lives just in Aurora over the last 6 days. And there are free resources available, including Colorado Crisis Services. It's a 24-hour support line. They're busy. In January of this year, that hotline received more than 23,000 calls, double the number it received in January of 2019.
And state lawmakers are trying to make sure those kids have the resources they need. This week, Jack's Law passed out of the state legislature. It could get to Governor Polis's desk for his signature by the end of the week. And the bill is named in honor of Jack Padilla. He would have turned 17 this year. He took his own life 2 years ago, and friends said he was bullied to death. And his family vowed to create new rules preventing bullying in schools and raising awareness about the warning signs.
It's a club none of us wanted to join. It's a wound that will never close, but every day, as I tell my son and my wife, we get 1 centimeter closer towards acceptance, and that's very healing for us.
That's Jack's father, Rick Padilla, and he's become an advocate for youth mental health. And he told us earlier this year that he believes it is time to give a voice to our youth and let them take the lead on some mental health initiatives.
Rain and snow will taper off, and there is a nice warming trend on the way.
Plus, one school district debates whether resource officers will be part of its path forward.
The mile-high shift may be coming to your morning commute. And one restaurant owner is getting creative as he works to rebound.
I would say 98% of the people were fine with it, but a couple people always bark and be like, hey, what is this?